Wait. Finding Robert's Wire too.
Who invited No? It's real.
Yeah.
It happened.
It
September 18th, 2023, the first ever PWHL draft.
I don't know how this even happened, right? Like, we grew up watching hockey without women, and now we get to have women in our lives all the time. An actual league.
I know.
An actual league that's organized.
It's crazy to me that girls right now who are growing up are
Yeah.
gonna think, like, Cheryl Pounder has this amazing story about her husband walking her kids around the arena while Cheryl was practicing, and one night they turned on an NHL game and one of her kids looked up at her and said something like, "Mom, they're boys."
Yeah.
And was like, "Boys don't play hockey."
Oh my God.
Love that.
So it's so crazy and cool to me that girls today are going to grow up with that reality of watching other women play hockey. And the PWHL is making that a reality. And today felt like a dream.
It was so cool. It felt really surreal. I think everybody there, media, players, like everybody was just like, oh my God, we're here. We made it.
It was cool. It felt like everyone was kind of working as one to get this really exciting product launched and off the ground. But in true sports fashion, because there was a draft today, we've taken our minute to be really excited and gush over the day. Now it's time to get critical and bring this thing down a little bit the way that true sports fans, it's time to complain. Right. So we'll start with your biggest, and it doesn't have to be a surprise in a good way or a bad way, but just something that kind of caught your attention as interesting during the draft.
I think we should talk about second overall. We should talk about that second overall pick with Jocelyn LaRocque, because there was so much. I feel like there was a recoil almost because of her age alone. She's 35. She still has that energy. She brings so much to the table, and I don't like how that has been a talking point, even though now I'm bringing it up as a talking point once more.
Yeah, well, I feel like we kind of had to talk about it because people were surprised. She's 35 years old. She went second overall to this brand new league right after Taylor Heisey, who just graduated college, and right before Alina Mueller, who just graduated college too. But the reason behind that pick, if you dig a little deeper, Gina, obviously, the Hockey Canada ties, long connection there, and the fact that her and Renata Fast, who was one of Toronto's cornerstone franchise players, are like one of the best defensive pairings in the world, like the best probably defensive shutdown pairing in women's hockey.
I like the pick. I mean, even if she plays 3 years, let's say, like if you only get her for 3 years, that's still
she's gonna play till she's 40. Stop.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying like on the low end, let's just say she plays for 3 years. You have 3 years of the best shutdown pair in the world. Like that's pretty good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
We're starting a new franchise, right? Like who wouldn't want to know that you have two of the best defenders in the world now that have played together. You don't have to worry about chemistry and things like that, which is so important in a league like this coming into fruition, because yes, a lot of these players play internationally together, but if you're just going to kind of go with best player available and take a bunch of people that haven't really played together, there's going to be some growing pains with that. So there are no growing pains there. That's a great start.
True. She said it herself too, like in her post-draft interview, like she doesn't, she plans on staying here for a while. And she was saying, she wasn't sure if something like this would ever happen when she could still play. She always thought maybe she'd be a fan when it happened. So I think now that it's here, like she
wants to be a part of it.
She wants to be a part of it.
Hell yes.
And like when you get a player like that who's going to be so reliable, like you know what you're getting, why not kind of base your franchise around that? Start there. It makes sense.
Your biggest surprise, Luca?
Biggest surprise, Jamie Lee Rattray falling to the third round. I thought for sure she'd go in the top 2 rounds, and Boston, as Toronto fans love, Boston got a steal of a player, and everyone, I think, thought for sure she was going to Ottawa, right?
Yeah. It seemed like a slam dunk to have her go to Ottawa. Man, at the PWHPA All-Star game in Ottawa, she was so engaged with the community. She just is such a lovable player. She always gets slotted into that fourth line role and works her way up and always gets that goal. Like, she just has a knack for scoring goals at important times. I could not believe she didn't go to Ottawa.
Could not believe it. Like you said, she always just, if she's playing 5 minutes a game or 20 minutes a game, does not matter. She can slot in anywhere up and down a lineup and be the biggest impact player. So Boston is one of those teams. I think we'll probably mention them later for another question, but with this pick too, like their roster is just low.
Yes, I thought it was just really interesting to see, how teams were going to go. Like Minnesota, for example, stayed pretty local mostly, right?
Yeah.
And Toronto a little bit too. And with Ottawa, it was just kind of like yeah, they just went heavy on the Americans right away. They took 3 European players.
Yeah.
Like, they just seemed like they were just picking, however they wanted to, not really sticking to any kind of, like, direction or way. And so it was interesting just in comparison to see how other teams were doing it, I guess.
It's so exciting. That's what we love about something so fresh and so new, and we get to see each strategy and how they play out. I feel like Ottawa may be the rogue team.
Yeah.
Any
Like,
team
we could
coached by
do-
Carla McLeod, I swear, could win at any time.
Yeah, and their GM, like, I think they put out a statement being like, they are looking for a gritty and dynamic, like, just a tough team.
See, that's so weird. Like, Jamie Lee Rattray.
No. Those are all of those things, which is wild. But
Yeah. Okay, whatever. We have to move on.
she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
You're right.
It'll be exciting.
Yeah, you have to yours. Yeah.
Michaela Grant-Mentis did not get drafted.
Surprising.
Crazy.
good one.
There's a couple names that remain on the board and will be, of course, signed in this next free agency period. But Michaela Grant-Mentis at one point was the highest paid player in the PHF. She was the PHF's MVP at one point. I was really surprised not to see her name get called today, but I feel like she's gonna be just fine. She's gonna find her spot, and she's gonna have a chip on her shoulder, and I think it's all gonna work out well. But I was really surprised not to see her go. Underrated picks. You want to start on this side this time, Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Victoria Bach.
Nice.
I know she hasn't played for the national team in maybe a couple of years now, but I still think she is so fast. She is so creative, and she's so smart. I think she still has so much to bring to the table.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a good pick.
I'm going to go with Julian Dempsey to Montreal. Great player in her time in the NWHL. First 100-point player when that league was still kind of intact, and then 28-point season last year for Boston. She's won the Isabel Cup a bunch of times with Boston. I think she's really, really good, and that Montreal team is building like a really solid forward group. So like underrated player, put her with MPP, an 11th round pick. Like you can probably play her anywhere, but hasn't really made her kind of claim to fame nationally for the U.S. So we'll see if she can do it now on this stage, which I think she can.
I'm gonna go Lauren Gable to Boston with Hillary. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
You guys? Like, she was MVP in the PHF. Noted by the panel that she had the hardest shot in the league. I feel like this woman is highly underrated. I cannot wait to see what she does with Hillary. I'm actually a little scared of Boston, honestly.
Oh,
at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Sophie Jakes for my underrated pick. I know she's not totally underrated by people in women's hockey circles. She won the Patty Kazmaier this year, so she's got a lot of hype around her.
Yeah.
But I feel like people who don't follow college hockey might not be totally aware of her. She blew up this year, tied the Ohio State's record for most points in a season as a defender. So
That's not.
she is
That's crazy.
She's pretty good.
a weapon. One of the best parts of draft day. NHL draft day, PWHL draft day, NBA, whatever draft day it is, the fits matter big time. And the ladies were bringing absolute heat today when it came to fits. So our best dressed.
Amazing pantsuits. All
So
around.
good.
Yeah.
But I still have to go with the silk one that I saw in Natalie Spooner.
Yes.
She looked phenomenal. That deep green
Yeah.
with the silk suit, new mommy, rocking. Also, baby.
Can you say that?
Can I? Baby looking cute. So cute as well. They dressed him up real cute with the bow tie.
Yeah.
Come on.
Rory, so
Rory,
cute.
So
Cute
cute.
kid.
The one thing I will rate, they all got their hair and makeup done this morning.
Oh,
They
yes.
had makeup artists and they got
That's
their
awesome.
hair done at the
love
hotel.
that.
Like,
Love that.
I love that they went all out for today.
Great.
Erin Ambrose was telling me about it. She was like, yeah, today I've elevated.
She looked
Okay, girl.
great too. She had a great
hair?
jumper.
I know. Her hair was amazing. I feel like we have to specifically shout out Erin Ambrose
Yeah,
because
fair.
she's
Love
always like,
Erin
what should I
Ambrose.
wear? What should I wear? What should I wear? Today, she slayed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm rocking the pink, so there's only one direction I can go. Emma Malte with the Barbie look with the pink. What is
full
that
Barbie
called?
girl.
Suit jacket.
Yep.
Is that what it's called? I am horrible with
He owns
fashion,
a couple.
admittedly.
Jack,
I'm wearing this. So
She had the big pink pumps on. She had a Barbie ponytail.
Yeah.
She had her bangs over to the side.
Well,
she looked phenomenal.
It goes back to the called out when we did it for Women's Worlds. Like when
Right.
when we talked about game day fits, like everyone instant answer. She was the only unanimous choice for one of the questions we asked every Team Canada member. It was Emma Malte. So shout out Emma Malte.
Yeah. That's my choice too. I love
Yeah.
that she has so much fun with it. Like,
Yeah.
and that, like, it's an expression, an extension of who she is. She seems like such a fun gal.
And she does both. Emma Malte is a menace to society playing against her on the ice. Like, she has sharp elbows. She can be so mean out there.
Sharp elbows.
And
I
then she
love that
comes
description.
with the cutest Barbie fit in the world and this like bopping around little
sneaky.
ponytail. I love that she could do both. And she had that on full display today. It's hard to choose. I think mine's Renata Fast. She had this cool black blazer happening with a bejeweled trim.
Yes.
Best believe she was bejeweled.
She was bejeweled.
And then this amazing Chanel bag to
Okay.
go with it. It was so cool.
It was noted on broadcast, like maybe they didn't need to bring their purses, but sometimes it's part of the
It's
fit.
part of the outfit. So
Yeah.
it is necessary to bring them on stage sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, Keller. She was signed
Keller-
already, but she was rocking this vintage Celtics jacket on top
Ooh,
of like an
that's
all
sweet.
white set. She said she got it at a thrift store. So
That's
that was
swag.
and like a nod to her team that she
Yeah.
signed with. So she tied it all together really nice. We got to give her a shout out too.
That's swaggy.
Can I give honorable mentions also to
Yes.
Brianne Jenner?
Oh, Brianne Jenner
Jenner.
was so good.
good.
And Ella Shelton, they both did something similar with the little vest situation. They both have these great, strong-looking arms. Like they
Gotta
look
show 'em
amazing.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show the pipes.
All right, the final question.
What is it?
Oh,
All right.
What is it?
here we go.
Oh.
Who won?
Ah, gotta ask it for every draft.
Boston.
Yes.
You look at
Wow, okay.
Boston.
Go on.
Boston is
Boston.
coming in hot.
Boston.
Why?
Won. Let's start with Hillary Knight. Done. Boston. I mean, that whole team as it came together. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
It just kept getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm just like, how are they not going to be an undeniable force? And when you play in a place like Boston, you know you're going to have such loyal fans backing you.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be so much energy and hype around this team before
Yeah.
they even play. That energy, I think, is going to directly just be fueling the players, and I just think that team is going to be undeniably good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say Toronto, not to be a giant homer, but I want
It's
to
your
say
brand.
say
Just go
Toronto.
with it.
Ottawa yet. I want to say Toronto because I'm just going to be a giant homer. I just feel like every single player they signed off the top, there's so much grit there. We have veterans, obviously, as we discussed.
Yeah.
Just a team that already knows each other so well. You're going to have this great core to bring, especially the young girls that they end up bringing in afterwards. They're going to have a great team out there and just solid leadership. Who doesn't want that? Think of the locker room vibes.
Serious
They've got
vibes on Toronto.
Yeah.
Your
We're gonna
thoughts?
talk about locker room
Yeah, I do.
vibes. You talk about Montreal. Okay?
Yeah.
We got MPP, we got Laura Stacey, and Anne-Renee Desbiens. That three is just incredible. But then you add what they did during the draft too. KO, Aaron Ambrose, two Toronto
Aaron's the
6 defensemen that are really, really good players, and they get to kind of continue to build their chemistry. Maureen Murphy, a young player from Northeastern. She's coming in and is going to learn under the best player in women's hockey in MPP. And then Jillian Dempsey, who I mentioned too. So I think Montreal is building something pretty special. Montreal-Boston rivalry. Let's reignite it here
Yeah.
in the PWHL.
I love the PWHL Original Six, honestly. Okay, I
very
think
cool.
I'm going to go Minnesota, though. State of hockey. So many amazing players have come out of Minnesota. The first overall pick, obviously, was Taylor Heisey, whose name, like, we haven't even said yet.
I
in this
know.
video.
True.
Taylor Heisey
She's very
needs
good.
no introduction. She won last year's Patty Kazmaier. She was the MVP at the 2021 Worlds when she made her debut in Denmark. Like, she is disgusting at
Also,
hockey.
sorry, we didn't even mention her fit either, which I thought was also very well
Unreal.
done.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
great.
They got Zumwinkle too, who was her line mate at Minnesota.
So
they
many
were
Minnesota girlies.
roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Minnesota girls. They drafted the first goalie at the draft. Hensley's USA's go-to gal. Feels like she's at the top of her game right now.
I wonder whose fans are going to do it better. I'm almost feeling like Minnesota is going to do it the best.
Minnesota.
It's a state of hockey, baby.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a state of hockey.
New York's got an interesting roster too. I know we haven't talked about them,
I
but like I
know.
kind of am into New York's roster too.
Yeah, their first three signings, cornerstone signings, people were surprised by because Micah Sandy Hart, prior to her, it had been mostly Canadian signing with Canadian teams.
I think she was that first one that kind of broke it. Like, okay, so it is going to be like this.
Love the Jesse Eldridge pick.
Yeah, she looked great too in her green on green. And she's so easy to like and cheer for as a player.
easy to cheer
So it was a great day. We've got some thoughts and now it's time to drop the puck on the first season of the PWHL. Let's go, baby.
Can't wait.